Hey guys, Will Terry here, and today's video is going to be called Digital Painting Warm and Cool Colors. And you can see that I'm already working on a digital painting right here. And so what I'm going to do is basically, I'm just going to paint. I haven't done a video where I've been painting for quite a while, so I figured I would just continue working on this. This is a little bit more than halfway done. I haven't really done anything on the Santa here. So I'm going to work on him a little bit and work on some of this other stuff. But I'm also going to talk about warm and cool colors and basically just kind of work. I mean, I'm trying to get this one done today. And so I thought I could make a video and actually kill a few birds with one stone, make a video for YouTube, but also talk to you about getting a video for free. And so let me just jump into that before I start working on this. Many of you who follow my channel know that we have an online school. It's SPS Learn, spslearn.com. I'll just bring it right here. And what I'm going to do for those of you watching today, or just watching this video in general, whenever you're watching it, is you can get my digital painting in Photoshop. So I'm just going to go to courses here, and I'm going to give this one away for free for watching this video, 10-step digital painting. This is everything that I'm going to be doing in this video is actually in this video here in this 10-step. And so what you need to do to get this for free is basically just email this link, svslearninfo@gmail.com. Address it to Aaron. Aaron's my son, and basically just tell him, hey Aaron, your dad said to give me 10-step digital painting for free. He will then, if you haven't already, he will ask you to create an account, to create a login and a password, because he's going to put that video in your account for free. And so you need to give him, in that email, to save time, you need to give him your login information so he can just go in the computer and put it in there. If you just ask for the video for free, he's going to say, we got to create a login first so I know where to put it, because I can't give you one unless you create a login. And so basically, he will give you that course, and you'll be able to just use it whenever you want. We're constantly adding new classes. And we also have a monthly subscription that you can sign up for, where you can watch all of them for, I think, $15 is where we are right now. The image that you're seeing right here, the one I'm working on, is actually the prompt for next month. So you're getting a sneak preview. And what we do is we have a contest or a competition called Third Thursday. And every third Thursday of the month, we do a competition. And we have basically a prompt, and so you can check out these other ones. This one this prompt is a few months old. This one right here was none of the animals could believe their eyes. The aircraft worked. For the first time, ostrich was actually flying, and so there's an image there. So the one that I'm doing is actually going to. You're getting a sneak preview because it's actually going to launch on. Let me just look at the calendar here. November 2nd. This third Thursday comes on the second third Thursday for November, the Halloween prompt, simply because we have CTN on the week of the 19th and the 20th, so we're not going to be able to do one that week. So I'm going to give this prompt, and this one will end on December 17th. So this one that I'm doing, the prompt where for this, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here, but basically this Santa image is, the prompt for that one is, Santa's reindeer got the flu, so he decided to use ... And that's where you get to come in and finish the story and write the story. And so what we do with the third Thursday, if you go back, let me just go back before I start working on this. And pull it up one more time. And so when you go into, let's see, you won't be able to see it on this one because this one we haven't critiqued yet. But on this one, we post a video we go in and we critique these live, all the submissions. So here's the submissions, here's the winners for that time. But you can watch this YouTube video. It's just under our critiques, and we have a video that we post, and you can watch the critique where we critique some of the illustrations. We don't have time to critique all of them, but we basically separate the illustrations into some categories of some winners and things like that, and then we critique out of those. And the good thing is, if you win, you can't win again, so that gives more room for other people to kind of jump in. So anyway, that's just something that we're kind of doing. And so in next week, I'm going to post this finished artwork for the Santa Claus one, because obviously Christmas is coming along, and so that's going to be the theme for November leading into December, because you want to get your Christmas stuff done before Christmas, otherwise it would seem silly working on it in January. Okay, so where I am on this, this was really a conscious effort to play warm colors against cool colors. And you can see here in the background, I've got these. When I talk about cool colors, I'm talking about your blues, your greens, and your purples. When I talk about warm colors, I'm talking about reds, yellows, oranges, pinks, and things like that. And it's all relative. The warmest colors you can have are orange, and that's why where the light source is, I've got oranges and yellows. And the coldest colors, farthest away from the light, are going to be cold blue colors. And so basically, just really trying to play those colors off of each other, because they are opposites on the color wheel, and they really help to contrast and pop things out. So I'm just going to start working along, and if I think of something to say, I'll say it. If not, I won't. I have this color enhancement layer on. That's also in the video that you'll get for free if you request it. And I'm not going to talk about that one right now, but basically I paint with more neutral colors, not as saturated. And by that I mean this is pure saturated up here. So if you look at your colors, these colors have been neutralized a lot more than the saturated color up here. And so the reason for that is painting more in these ranges allows me to control the saturated areas with these color enhancements after the fact. And I kind of put that on there now, and I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see the difference with that on and off. It really makes a big difference. Again, I show how to do that. That's mostly a technique that I use at the end of the painting. So one thing that I want to do though on this is show you that if I want to lighten this area right here, I'm just going to select that color, right? And so that color is basically this color right here, okay? But if I want to lighten that up, I'll select it. I'll go over to my color here, and then I'll warm it up just a little bit. So I'm moving this down into the warm zone, and because I'm going away from blue. Actually, you know what? This color wheel is kind of it's not the most ideal way to think of color, because this red right here, right? So this red, if I get that was clear at the bottom there, is actually the same red as this one up here. Basically, they're going to be the same. So they actually make a circle, right? If you tied those together, that would actually be your color wheel, okay? And so if I want to just warm this up just a little bit, I'm just going to bump this down a little bit and just move up a little bit right there. And then that'll allow me to kind of come in here and just add. I'm just changing my brush size there with the bracket keys. Again, if you have any questions, most of this should be answered in that video. But I just kind of thought, since I'm working on this today, maybe I would show a little process so we can show the little subtle differences there of what I just did. Just enhancing the color there. Probably should get rid of this here. And I like to work around my painting. So when I come back, I saw this stuff this morning and just wanted to kind of start working on it and fixing it a little bit. Just see a few things that I didn't like. You can see I've turned my opacity down. I'm using the number keys to do that. Even though I have transfer turned on, which is my pressure sensitivity, I can still kind of affect the opacity just with toggling down on those number keys a little bit. It's the same thing as if you change the opacity up here. I like to use the number keys are hot keys. Now I'm really zoomed in on this too, and quite frankly, I'm working on a lot of stuff that you really probably won't be able to see when this is printed, and when this is shown on the website. It's probably going to be about that size, so you won't even see that stuff. But I'm doing this large enough. Let's just look at my image size. Yeah, so I've got it at 70 inches high at 72 dpi or pixels, 5,000 by 4,000 pixels, which will print a really, really nice 8x10 at 300 dpi and larger. So now the other thing that I'm doing in here is really kind of trying to play these blues off of these oranges, since they are opposites on the color wheel. And I will have to do a lot of decision making on things like, and since I like what I did there, I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it to this layer here. I really try to minimize my layers. I already have this. I kind of made a mask. I know a lot of people are going to say, there's a masking tool that you can use. Well, you still have to go through the same kind of stuff there. So I'll just usually do something like that, and then I'll hide my selection. And one of the things that I'm going to be really consciously trying to figure out is the relationship of value between these ears, and the background. And right now what's separating them is the cool and warm colors. But I want to make sure that they work on a value range too. And when I squint my eye, they're starting to get, they're starting to look like they're blending in with the background just a little bit when I squint. They still look a little bit darker. And so I'm going to just see if I want to add more light value in here. And just kind of play with that a little bit. So I'm going to get this color right here, and then I'm going to go lighter than that quite a bit actually, and just a little warmer. That helps with the richness of color. We've got a video on painting color and light which talks about that in there as well. And I just want to see, I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on this right now, but I just want to see if this is actually where I want to go with this. Do I want it to be this much lighter down in here? And the only way to really tell is to zoom out and squint at it and look at it back and forth, do I want to go that way, or do I want to lighten those ears up? I think I want to go that way. It's a lot of things to kind of decide. Maybe I need to pull that color up into here a little bit more, because I've got quite a few darks in there. Something more like that. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So I think I want to keep those ears dark. And the other thing that I can do is actually darken those ears. So I can get my selection back. I just could Control H. I'm on a PC. And then select the inverse. And I'm going to hide it again. And then maybe just darken these ears a little bit on the back sides, just to pop that out. I'll get a new layer for that. So I'm just selecting this darker ear color in here. And just kind of paint some darkness. Over the back side of these, the side away from the light. Maybe on the dark side of that goat as well. And see what that looks like. So let me zoom out a little more. Oh yeah, I like that. That's really gonna pop that out. So when you see the difference there, see how it's kind of getting confused in there, but when I put those, that pops those out. That stuff really matters. And when I put that color enhancement layer on there, that stuff really makes a difference. Okay, so I like where that's going. I'll have to go back in there and add some of the detail, but I'll do that later. That'll be boring stuff where I basically come back in here, and I'll have to maybe darken this just a tiny bit. So do the same thing, go down just a little bit, and then see, maybe I need to go a little darker. Oh, that's right. I've still got the selection. That's why it's not painting. There we go. So I'll have to do things like that to show that there's still the architecture of the tree back in there. But so subtle that when you look at it from a distance, you really don't see it much at all, you know. And that's something else that I'll fix later on. I like having doing this color enhancement thing, just so I can see what it's looking like, or what it's going to look like in the end. I couldn't have done that until I had gotten this far, and I don't have it on the Santa here in the foreground because I really haven't worked on him at all yet. So I think I'll start to work on him some now. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to that by flattening that. I think that's a real strong opinion I have on working digitally, is not having a ton of layers. You know, this is another mask up here. This one's for the Santa. So really, I have my sketch layer, which I put value on, and then I kind of flatten those together and change the color on it to warm, because I want the warmth to kind of come through. And then so you can see a lot of that warmth stayed in the building there. And yeah, what am I trying to say? So let's work on Santa. And so I'll just kind of grab this layer and do a little selection there. Select the inverse, turn him off, and hide that selection. And then I'll just start to work on him a little bit. Now he's going to stay dark, so what I'm going to do is pull from some of these other colors that I've already established here. And maybe some of these cooler colors, we'll start with those. And just kind of start to build in some of these areas. I'm not interested in finishing anything right now. I'm just kind of trying to lay in some color on top of this so that I can get an idea of what it's going to look like. Right now I have no idea. Well, I mean, I have an idea, but I don't have, I really can't judge how dark this Santa needs to be until I start popping in colors. And the cool thing about working, digitally is that I'll be able to really control these values with that mask layer. I can always, since everything's always masked off, I can always throw a multiply layer over top of the whole thing. And if I get things too, I'll just grab this color right here. If things were to get too light, I can always tone things down, and darken things. Not that I would use those colors or anything, but I'll get rid of this layer. So just want to, oops, didn't have my texture on there. This is the fun part of the painting, where you're just kind of coming into the final stretches. And, it took me a long time to design this out. And that's where I spend the bulk of my time. And, I'll have a lot of people, and they'll ask me, they'll say, like, how do you come up with your ideas? How do you get these compositions? How do you get this, how did you learn how to draw like that and come up with that? And it really starts from the thumbnail stage. It starts from the story idea, but then it moves into that thumbnail stage. And the thing is, it would be like, I guess the equivalent would be like asking a golfer, like, how do you strike the ball so well? And it's like, well, I could tell you that, but we would have to sit down for hours while I explain each part of the 50 steps in a golf swing. And, and probably like, and even have to explain like diet and nutrition and exercise where my body can actually move in the right way, because I don't have a belly stopping my swing along the way. And so the idea being, that it is a complete package. You can't just take one class and expect to become a master painter. It's everything. There's 50 things or 100 things that go into creating a really nice piece of art, and you have to know all of them. And so for me too, there's another class that we have, creative composition, and a lot of people skip that because it's not that interesting to them, and they want to get painting right away. And it's like, well, but what you're doing, back to the golf analogy, is you're skipping steps 1 through 20, and you're trying to start on step number 30, and it's like it's never going to work because you don't know how to compose a picture, and you don't, or maybe you don't know how to draw, and coming up with really good drawing mechanics is going to be super important for pulling that off. And so there's just so much that goes into it. So one thing that I wanted to show with going back to the warm and cool colors is that what you have, let's see, what would be the best way to do this? Let me do this. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to add some extra canvas out here. Okay. Let's just go ahead and fill it up with some white there. I'm just going to tone this layer down a little bit like that. And you guessed it. Okay, so I want to show you the difference between, because this is the crux of the matter with the warm and cool that I want to go back to. On your color wheel, you have different reds. So let's just get this nice saturated red up here. Okay, so that's like one of your primary red, right? And as you move towards orange, right there, you're still in the red zone, but you're warming it up. And if you go the other direction, now remember that's the same red, but if we go here, that's cooling it up, right? So one thing that people get wrong a lot in their colors is they put cool reds where they should have warm reds and vice versa. And just in case you're on a computer screen that can't really tell those subtleties, I'm going to move a little further and do one more on both sides. Right. Okay, so these are all basically reds. You could say these are oranges, but they're definitely red. Cooler. They're cooler oranges. Like the hottest orange would be there. That's probably the warmest color you can get, just about right there. Saturate it up a little bit more. And as we move away from orange, we're going cooler. So they're all relative. This orange is relatively cooler than this one. This one is relatively cooler than this one. This is the coldest one, but now you're not in orange anymore. You're now starting to move into the purples or the magentas. But if we look at this sled right here, and I'm just going to select from here, where does that red fit? It's probably in this realm, even though it's neutralized somewhat. In fact, let's put the enhancement layer on there, and let's get rid of that and do that again. Yeah, so it's right in that realm. So it's a warm red. Remember, this one right here is our primary color, and we'll get this here, and I think it cools off a little bit, but those are the colors there. When we move to Santa over here, he's going to look quite a bit different. One, there's a lot of value there. I bet you didn't see that coming, that it was going to be that dark. And that's because your eye's being tricked. Look at that right there. It just looks like it's going to be so much more red. And on the color wheel, it still is in the red family, right, over here. So there's still a lot of red in it. If we move up just a little bit, you're going to start to see more red out of that, right? But when I add, typically what's going to happen is this is our light source coming from the building right here, and out everywhere else there's going to be, I'm saying there's a moonlight, out there. So the moon is creating this really cold blue light. So when we put that cold blue light on Santa's red, local color red coat, we can't highlight it the same. We can't, the sleigh is red, and these could be the same exact reds. Santa could be wearing the same red as the sled there, but because it's being influenced by different qualities of light, this one right here is going to have to be cooled down, and we're going to have to move over to this family over here and maybe come up a little bit to start to add some light to it. So this should look more right in this realm, right? So when the moonlight hits his jacket, it should look more like that. Again, what I did was select the color there that I've already painted in, which is dark, because he's not in the main source of light. He's out of the realm of the light. The shadows, he's in the shadows, right? So that's the color of his jacket. Again, I'm going to cool it up by moving to the other. And again, if this was a circle, I would just go down further and it would come in over here. It's like a asteroid screen, right? You ever played the game Asteroids where you go off the screen one way and you come on the other? And I'm just going to cool it up a little bit. And then that would be this painting right there would be painting with the same value, which isn't going to show up, right? So we just want to increase, because it's light, we just want to increase the value a little bit. And that's where you get this color right here. And so I can come along here. You know, maybe his hat up here is going to have some of that color. And it's going to look right because the value underneath is actually that from that warmer family. So his coat is still warm because it's down here in the warm family there, right? But all of this light out here is going to be more in these purples, and I can go even lighter than that to really add some highlight on that coat. And that's really where I have to kind of play around and see if that's going to look right or not. I could put more red in here, more warm red. Maybe come up here and just add a little bit more to make sure that his hat looks like it's red. A lot of this is judgment call. You know, you have to work on it, look at it, paint it, see if it looks right. If it doesn't look right, ask yourself why. Now, another thing that I'm going to do with this, and I'm going to work on all that, and I'll spend a lot of time in his face. Again, you'll see this posted on our SVS site next week, the final of it. But the last thing that I wanted to show you is actually, let me get this selection back again. Oh no, actually I wanted that. Yeah. And that is I'm going to turn this enhancement off. Hide that selection. And that is, I want to pump some light in here. Like there's some light reflecting off of this sled and bouncing back into the house a little bit and popping him out a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to do now. And I'll say, what color would it be that's popping off? Maybe in this realm, but maybe not quite that light, and maybe down here. And a lot of this is just guesswork. You know, so I just want to pop him off there, and then I'll turn that enhancement on. And you can see the difference there, where it'll kind of silhouette him against the house a little bit better. So I'll be working that into there. And the last thing I need to do is put the Christmas lights on, but I'm going to wait for you to make you wait to see that. And a few other little tidbits. I didn't finish the boots on this. Donkeys need boots, right? So boots on the donkey. And that's about it. So, you know, if you're already subscribed to SVS, then you've already got access to the 10-step digital painting. But if you're not, go ahead and send Aaron a message, and you can even be rude and say, "Hey, your dad said, give me that video." Aaron and I have this fun relationship, so he'd actually get a kick out of that. All right, thanks for watching, and hope to see you over at SVS. One last thing that I forgot to mention, and that is that we also have forums. I should have mentioned this earlier. We've got forums over at SVS where there's all kinds of chatter and talk going on about mostly our Third Thursday contest, where people are putting their work in there and they're getting critiques. And sometimes I'll show up and do a critique. I did a critique on No Way Me, posted this one, and you can see some other people were chiming in and helping out, and a lot of great talk there. And this is a draw over that I did, and just a lot of great. There's another draw over that someone else did, and I just think that it's a great way to learn, to have this kind of community. There's another. Wow, I didn't see that one. So anyway, just thought you should know that that's a resource that's available to you, and that's free. You don't have to be subscribed to use the forums. Okay, See you on my next video. Subscribe if you like it. More stuff like this. Don't if you don't. Bye.